Lauren, I can't tell you how glad I am to finally watch this show instead of just listening to it. I was so excited this morning when I got to see all of the couples.
The blindfolds are off. Now, do you know what Never Have I Ever is?
It's a drinking game, right? No?
Well, yeah, look, see, D got another reference.
Yay, finally.
You missed Eiffel Tower yesterday, but you got
DTF.
that's
You said
right.
DTF, and I was like, I know what that one means.
Just catching on, Channel Surfers. Love is Blind, season 10, episode 6. Never Have I Ever. Let's watch.
Remote reality, yeah, that's the key. Unlocking stories wild and free. With the host, side by side. Channel surfers, let's ride.
Hey, Channel Surfers. Welcome to Remote Reality. I'm Lauren, your friend and attorney host who loves to overanalyze everything, including our favorite reality TV shows. And D, we are multitasking today.
Very multitasking.
And
I'm
this is,
Dee, her paralegal and smartass sidekick and co-host.
yes, we have lawyer work today. I've got a lot of phone calls to make. So
Mhm.
clearly I'm
We're
just up for
doing
phone calls.
Yeah, and we're doing them, like, in between the recordings, like, we'll take a short break and return a call or it's crazy. It's
And if the
crazy.
phone rings, sometimes people don't answer immediately when we call them back, even though we have scheduled appointments. So we might have our phone at intervals of like 15 minutes
Mhm.
to allow them time to call us back. So if there's any rings, we apologize in advance.
Can I just say you look like a lumberjack today? What are you wearing?
I guess I'm channeling my Connor. Um, J. Crew plaid shirt and
I
a
like the
hat we
little
got in
hat
Nomad
backwards.
backwards.
Yeah, that's cute.
We had a lot to do this morning, so I wasn't getting prissed up.
I never get prissy up. This
They're
is what you
always
get every
prissy.
day.
Hush. All right. Sounds like Amber and Jordan. She was riding that CPAP last night.
Yeah, he just kept getting some extra wind and kept on going. They're really cute. I hope they make it.
They're not the only ones getting some. Alex and Ashley, they are talking about how they had lots of sex, lots of different positions. Now, did you notice a difference in the way that Amber and Jordan, like their vibe when talking about their intimate night versus
Mhm.
Alex and Ashley?
Yeah, it was definitely
More connected.
yeah, it's almost like they're on the same wavelength, I think,
They were both
as a good way to describe
excited
it.
about each other. Ashley and Alex, it was more dry.
Mhm.
It felt
It felt like she should have been walking home with her shoes in her hand the next morning.
didn't it?
Yes.
It felt emotionally detached. I
Yeah.
just the vibe I was getting versus
Yeah.
Jordan and Amber, who are giggling. They're both really excited. You can tell they're just giddy. They're high on each
Mhm.
other. But I thought that was really interesting, that dichotomy. Christine and Vic, they're so adorable. They're in Malibu. Now, I want everybody to watch as we continue through the honeymoons. All of Christine and Vic's film are selfie films. They don't have a camera crew with them. I did find an article because they don't really explain this. At least we don't know because unless
We
they
don't know why
explained it,
they're not with the other couples in Cabo, why they're in
right.
Miami.
And I don't know that they explained that while we are still blind in the show. Maybe.
Mm-mm.
But the article said that it was making the weirdest excuses. Love is Blind, they always have 5 to 6 couples. We talked about that on our other podcast, and we were like, oh, this one has the most couples with 7. Who do you think it's going to
Mhm.
be? And there was something about how production couldn't afford to take another couple to Cabo, which another all
Mm.
inclusive ticket for 2 people, probably not a lot. I don't know if they each have to have a handler or something, maybe the airline tickets. I would think that's a pretty minimal cost for Love is Blind, though.
Yeah, I can't imagine that they don't have the money to send another couple with the 6 that are already going. That doesn't make any sense.
Now, also, they said that they just didn't connect with the other couples. So I have a theory about this. I'm going to
Mhm.
wait until we get to, I don't know, maybe the end of this 3-episode drop to share my theory, or at least why. I think that they were brought in after the Malibu honeymoons. They weren't picked to be in the 6 that producers needed, but then producers realized the show is lacking something. And I think that's why they picked Christine and Vic. Maybe Christine and Vic had done their own vacation since they didn't get picked to Malibu. Maybe that's where the selfie film comes from. And the reason that they're not connecting with the other couples, as explained in the article, is because they weren't picked to be on the cast. I think this was an afterthought by production.
Oh.
At some point in the season, I think something happened and they're trying to save the show with these two. I'm just going to say that. I think Christine and Vic are going to be our sweetheart couple.
They look amazing all the time. Whenever you see the video that they do have them, they look like they're having so much fun, and they're like yin and yang. They're connected.
They're like twin flames, but not in a twin flame universe kind of way. If you know, you know. I don't know if you ever saw the documentary. It was wild. Anyway, we'll talk about that after the next 3 coverage when we see some of the previews. But Jess and Chris, they're only 6 years apart. He's 32 and she's 38.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that big a difference. And when they were talking about the whole kids and things like that, you know, how would his mom feel if he didn't have kids or something to that effect? And I was like,
well, he like busts her chops about being old, and it's funny. He's just joking, obviously, but
she looks
and I are 6 years
32.
apart.
Yeah, she looks 32.
But she might have a lot more maturity than him.
I don't know. I just love his smile. Every time he smiles, I'm just like, it just melts you.
I cannot stop thinking about Lord of the Rings, Elijah Wood. And I don't even know why that's the role I picture him in, because I've never seen Lord of the Rings. Maybe it's because recently there was a YouTube video where he showed up to a wedding at the place that Lord of the Rings was filmed, and everybody was dressed up in character, and he just showed up for the couple, and he's like, "Hey," and surprised them.
Yeah, it's a great movie. You should really watch it, all of them.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
Sure,
I'm bad
I know you won't. I love movies. That's the difference.
Let's talk about Ashley and Alex sitting on the beach. We said before we even saw him, when we were listening in the pods, everything he talked about was soccer. The worst moment in his whole life was the day that instead of being 5th, he was 23rd and he still got a sign-on bonus. That was the worst day of his life. And he said it's because he realized he didn't really have friends. As much as he loves soccer, you would think that the injury that took him out maybe is one of the worst parts of his life. And it seemed to us like this was just a reason for him to talk about how he should have been fit.
He's going to talk about himself no matter what. He just loves to talk about himself. He'll go on and on and on about himself.
The proposal. The whole proposal was how she made him feel. There was nothing in there. There might have been like one thing, nothing else about what he liked specifically about her. A lot of people say that they like how the person makes them feel, but they also have compliments about how nice the person is, how beautiful, what a great soul. I really like our connection. His was all about how she makes him feel.
Well, yeah, even when they saw each other for the first time, he was sitting there talking about her being on his arm like a daggone trophy wife and stuff. Again,
like
an accessory. Yeah, for him.
I'm not feeling great about this. We're sitting on the beach. The conversation is love blind for you, which a little bit feels like a backhanded way to get a compliment. She's like, well, you're hot. Not hard.
We know he's hot. He knows he's hot.
They start talking about travel. They start talking about where he wants to go, Antarctica.
The adventures they want to go on.
And then he switches to her and she says Spain and Portugal. And he immediately jumps in with Portugal. That's where Ronaldo's from, which Ronaldo, soccer player, very hot soccer player. He's like, I'd like to go there because of Ronaldo. So he immediately shifts that back to him. And then they start talking about soccer, how he met a goalie once who sucked, who's American. He thinks David Beckham sucks. And she's like, well, I just want to be as fabulous is posh because she says she likes David Beckham. And he's like, well, he sucks.
Mm-hmm. Giving some diss to Beckham.
But also, she just said that she likes Beckham, and you're like, that
Mhm.
sucks.
Yeah. He's no good. He's not even good. That's what he said.
He does tell her she's fabulous, like Victoria Beckham, but I don't know. And then he just makes this comment about how she can take it a bunch of different ways. Again, referring to their intimacy.
The positions.
Yeah. Just this very dry, like some bro bragging about how he got some. There's no emotional connection I'm feeling there from him.
No, I don't either. I think she's going to be really hurt.
It's amazing what just a few minutes of clip is showing us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a few minutes of edited clip, but still.
True.
So everyone's getting ready for cocktail night, and it is also Connor's birthday.
Happy birthday, Connor.
Happy birthday, Connor. Bree, her swimsuit is so cute.
They all have amazing outfits. Every time I see them, I'm just like, where do they get this stuff from?
She has like this ruffle on her sleeve. It's one shoulder. It's white
Mhm.
with pink.
Tropical flowers. I think it had tropical looking flowers.
Really cute.
Mm-hmm. It's like a half shirt.
But it was not holding her cleavage up. So I don't know if that's the one that I need to go get because apparently she
Yeah.
has some under boob slippage.
I think there was an oops.
But this puppy's staying in tonight. Connor's like, nope, we're letting him out.
Easy access is what he's thinking.
Devonte and Brittany, they're at the bar getting some mezcal with rosemary mixed into it. And apparently they've already talked about rosemary being one of their children's names.
Okay.
We missed that in the edit. When Connor and Bree walk in, everybody turns around and starts singing happy birthday. What did you think of Emma's face, her reaction?
I definitely think she was interested in seeing what he looked like. And it was kind of almost like her face was frozen with a smile on it. So I couldn't really tell what was going through her head. But I think
I agree. I read that as awkward.
Mhm.
They were both each other's number one. I thought
Even though
until,
she lied to Mike and said that he was.
okay.
Mm.
She said that her second left could be second guy, but I just feel like that was probably uncomfortable and she didn't know, should I be wishing him happy birthday?
It has to be a little bit awkward. And we're going to
Absolutely.
get more into that here in a minute because of Breezy. But
Just her face.
yeah,
You're right. It looked like she froze.
yeah. She didn't know what to think. I couldn't tell
wouldn't
if she was
either.
happy to see him, regretful, nothing. It was just like frozen.
Well, they don't know how to deal with this situation. This is a weird situation for everybody. Yeah, we can go ahead and get into it a little bit. Bree addresses this later on at the party. Like, why is everybody being so fake? And then she talks to Connor about it later that night. I think it's because they just don't know how to react. They've never
Well,
been in this situation.
and it's kind of like, in my opinion, treating it as if they're already exes. So you're in an environment where everybody's together with their exes. So not necessarily something everybody should be addressing or wanting to talk about. Honestly, I'd never seen anybody have the interest in it that Bree has.
On the other hand, we've got some people acting like they've never talked to the other person before. Connor does not talk to Emma at all during this cocktail
Mm-mm.
party.
Mm-mm.
So where's the balance?
Well,
It's
like I
hard
said,
to say.
yeah. Well, like I said, I think they all are treating it as if they're, their ex is in the room, and not many of us would walk up and start talking to our ex in a room.
Well,
And maybe that's the way they move forward. Huh?
recent exes.
Yeah.
Because
But maybe,
Connor not talking to Emma is just as much of an indicator that he still has strong feelings for her and he's hurt by the breakup, even though
Mhm.
he is the one that chose, as you might say that Bree is interested in Chris because, well, she needs to talk to him a lot.
Mhm.
It's interesting. It's an interesting
it's
dynamic.
well, yeah, one I wouldn't want to be in.
Heck
I don't
no.
I don't think I would be interested in talking to whoever was in the pod that was one of my choices that I didn't go with.
Free all inclusive trip to Cabo.
Well, if you're already there with somebody, you got the trip to Cabo. Why do you need to go and interact with somebody who you consider an ex? Unless they're hot or you realize that you've made a mistake with the one that you chose and you'd be like, "Damn, I wish I'd went that direction."
Let's say that you are at this trip to Cabo. You are at
Mhm.
this cocktail night. Aren't you just slamming back drinks to make it less awkward?
Everybody's probably gonna be slamming them back to keep it less awkward.
I think that's exactly what happens tonight.
Mhm.
But Emma, she does go and give Connor a hug right when he walks in and says
Mhm.
hi, and then tells us off camera that seeing him was a weird experience.
Mhm.
Not really saying how so weird, but we feel you, Emma. We feel you on that. So everybody's talking about how they got it on last night, except for Brittany and Devonte. Brittany said her legs are sealed shut by the blood of Christ. And she told Devonte if they keep touching, getting that close, he's going to be getting it in.
Mhm.
She said she feels bad for him.
She should. Everybody else is getting some and he's not. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
If that's the way she feels about it, but it has to be hard for him to be sitting there listening to everybody talking about getting sex and he's not getting any. But we had a similar situation last season too, remember? Edmund, he didn't get any and he was furious. Like he went back to the room and he was just like explosive about it.
Yeah. I think Devontae's dealing with it. He's like cool, calm, and collected. He's joking with the guys, like, she was making it hard, Poppy.
He
I
was
feel like
so
he's
cool
taking
with
it
it.
in stride,
Yeah. He seems like he's very laid back.
very even keeled.
Mhm.
Agreed.
You got Jordan and Amber over there. They're just chilling by
They're
themselves.
just making out. They are in a
Yeah.
chair. She's about to start grinding on him.
Yeah. He's like, "Do you want to go visit with the friends?" Nah, they just want each other's company. I thought that was so adorable.
Well, he said, I'm here for you, not them.
Mhm.
But
True.
I
That's
think
true.
I think they want a little bit of privacy, which is why they're off to the side because they are very much enjoying each other's company. It's good to see.
Mhm.
So it's not lost on this cast that they're all hotties.
They are. This is a great cast of beautiful people, that's for sure.
Jess is saying everybody's attractive, and Connor's like, yeah, they're all cuties. Now, Connor and Brie, they have this dynamic where they just pick at each other. Connor is standing there with Brie and Chris. Chris is like right across from her. And he goes, oh, have you talked to your ex-boyfriend yet? He's a great guy.
It's almost like brothers and sisters, the way that they interact.
Well, on the way down there, she tells everybody Connor had sweaty palms. I asked him if he was nervous about seeing Emma. Just says it in front of everybody. So they're both putting each other on blast in front of everybody
Mhm.
about the fact that they both have an ex there. Actually, Connor, doesn't he have two exes there? Jess and Emma?
Maybe.
Yeah. Because
I know he talked to Emma.
because we thought he was engaged to Jess, remember?
Yeah, but I thought that's because we had the guys mixed up, not the girls.
No, he had four girls or three girls.
Oh,
He was the rectangle instead of the triangle because there were
gotcha.
three girls.
Okay, well, maybe Jess was one of them then.
And come on, even we didn't see them, but even Brie acknowledges that they're similar. She said if you squint your eyes, they would kind of look the same. Also, it's Connor's birthday. And during this trip, it's Chris's birthday too.
Oh my gosh, what's the odds?
I don't know. So maybe even if we saw them, it would be confusing.
I don't know, man. Chris's smile just gets me every time. I don't think I could miss that smile.
I could. Remember that intense look at the beginning. I don't know.
Was it Chris? He
Yes,
was
it
the
was
one that
Chris.
had the eye contact that
Yes.
you thought was awkward?
Yes. There's
Oh.
something with Jess. There's something inauthentic. It feels showy. I don't know. I'm just getting a vibe. So the guys are talking about how things are going.
I feel like they're ticking off a cons and pro list or something over there. The conversations the guys was having was completely different than what the women were having.
Well, as far as pros and cons, Connor says he doesn't like that Brie doesn't shut the fuck up. And then he pauses really long before he finds something she does like, which is that she lets him be him. So kind of turning back on that, the thing you like about her has to do with you. This is a red flag.
Well, I wonder sometimes when people say that comment that it's not coming out the way that it's meant to sound. I
I
kind
feel like
of
he was joking at that point too, because he did that long pause. And there's
well,
also a difference to me on how often it's occurring.
I'm just thinking I had it articulated here a minute ago. How many times have we went out with somebody and you feel like you either have to walk on eggshells
Mhm.
or they might not approve of this if you said that or something like that. And I think when he says, I can be myself, she allows me to be myself, is he doesn't feel like he has any of those kind of red flags he has to look for. He can have a genuine conversation with her and not feel like he has fucked up or said something he shouldn't say.
Well, and we talked about this last time. I think that's definitely something that you should look at versus Alex, where everything seems to get turned back around on him.
He finds a point here or a point there to just initiate himself right into making the conversation about him no matter what they're talking about.
Even here, eye contact is dangerous for him. And
I didn't quite
wh-
understand what he was
what,
saying with that.
because that leads to sex with her. Is this the regret?
Well, I mean, those two are constantly like staring at each other. I think it was last episode he kept saying, "Quit staring at me like that. Don't look at me like that." Um,
Because it
so
was all leading to sex.
yeah, eye contact for him makes him feel uncomfortable.
Really?
I think it does. I think he's shady. So he can't
Mhm.
hold eye contact with people when he wants to be the center of attention, but he doesn't want that direct attention that you get when someone is actually focused completely on you in in an environment. Does that make sense?
It's harder to be authentic when they're looking you in the eye.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes total sense. That's a good point. But for his con, he's like, I don't know, nothing. But if you want to be picky, she's not my type. Usually I'd go for somebody with dark hair, which doesn't, that's fine. Love is blind. You're not necessarily going to get a type if you have a type.
Yeah, I think we're about to find out how blind it is.
Now, Mike and Emma have the same sense of humor, which that's a great thing to share.
Mhm.
But he talks about her messy suitcase. Why does he care?
If he's a neat freak, that's gonna drive him insane. Like,
I'm not a neat freak.
see, I have OCD tendencies. So I am not saying I'm a neat freak by no means, but there's certain areas of my life that I like extremely organized or structured. And if he's like that, and that's one of the areas that she's not structured in or she's messy, all his mind is thinking about is that he has to constantly fix that area until it's fixed, which means he's probably dying to go and fix that suitcase every time he looks at it.
I could understand if this suitcase was spilling out into the room and there's stuff all over the place. Or is he just talking about the inside of the suitcase being messy?
I think he's talking about I don't know. He said the suitcase was messy, but I'm thinking that it's one of those things with his mind that it's gonna be a pet peeve for him that like really digs in. There's just some things, you know,
I would
I can
drive
let
him crazy. I just throw everything in a suitcase. Say
yeah,
the
I
chips fall where
know.
they land.
I mean, me and you have worked in an office environment together, and you know that that's one of the places I like everything in its place and very
Yes.
structured. And I mean, I used to walk in and I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, this is like ground zero," and I
You would go
couldn't
clean
do
up after me. You're like, oh,
I
Lord,
would
what the
have to
hell
clean it
happened?
up and get everything in its place before I could even start working. That's how much it affected my mind.
In my mind, I was like, it's places where I last left it. So it'd be like, D, where did that file go? Now we have everything organized on a computer. So
Yes, we don't have that
improvements
issue
over the
anymore.
last 15 years.
But I would spend literally 30 minutes just to get ready to start working.
I'm a slop ball. The girls, really, they're just focusing on Amber's connection
Mhm.
with Jordan. She had such a strong distaste for men, and now she feels like there are good guys out there. Very sweet.
He's such a gentleman. Like, it wasn't just things he was doing with her. She would watch him interact and helping total strangers when they would be out places and stuff like that, and it just made her realize there are good guys out there. I thought it was
Now,
sweet.
I've seen guys do that before, and sometimes that's honeymoon. Like, with some guys
Mhm,
I dated, that would also start to disappear.
mhm,
But, like, with my husband, he doesn't make a big deal out of it. Like, if he opens the door for people, but he doesn't say anything, he just does
mhm,
it.
mhm.
So, I think it could go both ways. Like, is he doing
The
it for attention or is he doing it because he's a gentleman?
Yeah, the impression I got from her was that it was just a natural
But what does
thing.
she know? She just met him. I'm just saying, I'm on the fence, but
And
signs
he's a
are indicating
I'm
the
just I'm just saying, I'm from Southern Ohio. He's a country boy, and I would not be surprised if that's just not his nature. That's just the way that a lot of them are brought up to be. Just saying.
men might come back from the night and they talk about he's just like, "This is what I said to the guys." Puts it out there.
Mhm.
I thought that was a good idea.
I did too, and I like the conversation that they had with it. They're just getting to know each other, and she
Take it
didn't
one day
take
at
it
a
as
time.
yeah, she didn't take it as a criticism or anything. They're just getting to know each other.
They were talking about who surprised them the most. So for women, Connor says Amber. I think Amber surprised me the most too.
Well, he was talking about how she looked physically.
Right. And we
Yeah.
watched it blind. And I think Amber was the most shocking to me when we watched it. Who was the most shocking to you for women?
As to what they look like compared to
Yes.
what I thought they would look
The same
like.
game that the same game that they were playing. Let's play it,
I'm
D.
sorry. I think Ashley. I think I
Uh,
did not expect her to be blonde. I mean, we were at that point, I think she was what, the 3rd blonde to come out? Because we were like, "They're all blondes
it was,
so
yeah,
far."
she was the
Yeah.
third blonde.
Yeah, so I was kind of expecting a brunette in her place since we had already seen two blondes. The
As far as the
guys,
guys, yeah,
Jordan, I pretty much had pegged. I knew how he
we
was gonna
we
look.
both did, and all the women were saying they did not pick up on
Yeah.
Jordan.
I
We
think
had it down to the
Devonte.
cowboy boots he was wearing for the
Yeah,
reveal.
I think Devonte would probably be the one
Mm,
maybe that threw me the most.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Him and Mike. I thought Mike was gonna have dirty blonde hair.
Yes, and you thought he was gonna be short too, which I
I
don't I
didn't
don't think he is.
No, I did not expect that at all for
Mm-mm.
Mike. Chris and Bree, after they get back, they're having a conversation too. It's a little bit different than Emma and Mike's conversation. Wouldn't
I
you
was just
say?
like, I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about, Bree?"
I Okay. I see what she's saying.
Do, but I don't. I don't understand why she's having that conversation with him because you can tell he really feels uncomfortable with it.
Okay, this is my take. They both look wasty face. His eyes are glazed over. He almost looks like comatose drunk, like he's had so much
Mhm.
he's about to pass out, like he's starting to nod off. And she's chatty drunk and in her emotions. I think we're just watching two drunk people after an awkward night, and she's trying to talk to him, and he's about to just nod off.
Okay, well, he said one of the things that he said is she never shuts the fuck up. So even when she's drinking, she talks a lot. When she's not drinking, she talks a lot.
It's
But
me.
I just didn't know where she was going with it. Like what the
I don't
point was in having that kind of conversation with him.
She was drunk and she was sharing her feelings about
You know
I mean,
what?
I agree. Okay, I agree with her. She said, "Look, we all came in vulnerable." And he's like, "Well, I just ignored Emma." She goes, "Yes, but I'm sure you came in vulnerable to Emma and Emma came in vulnerable to you," which is true. Emma said in ITMs, "I had weird feelings about this."
Mhm.
Chris, he's not acknowledging his feelings. He's just like shoving them down, but he's got feelings about it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so weird to talk to her.
You mean Connor?
Damn it.
'Cause you
Yes.
Okay. So he did say to Bree that if Emma came up to him and wanted to talk to him, of course he would talk to her. So I think that
Then he goes, "But I wasn't starting that shit." Like, that's some moral high
I
ground. I
th-
don't think anybody knows how to act here. And I
I
think
think
they both are just taking it differently.
I personally think everybody is trying to respect the relationships that are growing, that have been chosen, instead of focusing on what they may or may not have had in the pods with any of the other people present. The problem with Bree is she wants some kind of acknowledgement of that. She wants a conversation with Chris. And I'm wondering if when she saw Chris, if she finds him like really attractive, and that's the reason why she wants to have this part 2 conversation with him.
I'm getting the feeling that they were so connected in the pods. She felt like she knew this person. She felt close to this person. So for this person to act like a total stranger when they finally see each other for the first time
Mhm.
was unsettling.
Yeah.
It's not that she necessarily, at least at this point, is looking for something more, because it could be both ways. It could be, I still have feelings for him. I want to explore that. But it also could be, I know this person,
Mhm.
like I would know a best friend. We have talked for hours. We have talked all night. Why are they ignoring me?
I think the guys in particular, that there is just like a mutual respect for the relationships that everybody's in. They're not going to step on toes and just go talk to these girls that they talk to in the pods when the girls are with somebody else.
Well, you have to respect, but also that's not who you chose. You're with the person you chose. And I guess it's hard. I guess because of the proximity in time, how
Mhm.
recent this breakup is.
Well, and everybody's new. Nobody knows just how jealous somebody else might be, which we saw that last season with some of them
Yeah,
when they saw
but
the
if you're
singles.
getting married in 4 weeks, shouldn't you find
I know.
out?
Well,
Seems
yeah,
like
but
the best time to test it.
I don't know. I see both sides. I can see why somebody would want to talk to them, and I can also see
What their
why they're
reaction
not.
is.
Yeah, why they're not talking. I kind of see both.
If your connection is strong with the person that you picked, wouldn't you feel like that's special and that was for a reason?
True, but the way that she's making it sound with Connor, I can see why he might be feeling a little insecure about their relationship, because she just keeps going on and on and on about Chris. And, she told him things she didn't tell anybody else, and her vulnerability and things like that.
Well, again, I think this is some drunk, and I think Connor's not giving her anything because he's about to take a little drunk nap.
Yeah, he's
He's
processing.
glazed over. He had a happy birthday. He can't have birthday sex. It's not going to happen. He's not
Mm-mm,
going to be able to rise
no.
to the occasion after that. Brittany's in the bathroom doing her hair, saying that she feels disconnected from Devonte, that she has to go searching for him, which at first I took that to mean that he's just like left the hotel room and she has no idea where he is and she has to wander all over the place. But later on, they have a conversation and he says, yeah, like you sleep in. I'm not going to just lay in bed until you wake up. It almost sounded
Mhm,
like he's just in the other room.
mhm. Yeah, she said she didn't like waking up alone. But at the
Mhm.
same time, I get what he's saying. They're not on the same sleep schedule. He gets up really early, and he's not gonna lay in bed just to stare at her ass until she wakes up.
See, that's me. I'm the one that wakes up early, and my husband sleeps hours past the time I wake up, and we just have separate
Mm.
bedrooms. Works for us. But again, this is new, so maybe there's excitement. But why does he have to just stay in the bed? Was she the one that said she'd be his stage 5 clinger? I think so.
No, 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 I don't think it was her. Maybe.
No, I
I
think
don't
it
know, we'd
was
have to
her.
go back and look. I was thinking it was either Jess or, um, Bree, because we had them confused, but I thought it was Bree.
Watching the show, though, feels like it would have been something that maybe Brittany should have said. And Bree, she doesn't really seem to be clinging to Connor. I would say this is stage 0 clinger
Mhm.
aversion. A little bit of B-roll into the activities. So we had this bicycling on a tightrope.
Pretty high up.
I would not do it.
Probably would. I'm adventurous with stuff like that. I'm not afraid to do any of it.
That was Emma and Mike. I was so scared when we went ziplining in Costa Rica. They had to take me down and drive me back.
Oh my gosh.
And then we had frisbee with
Mhm.
Amber and
Or
Jordan. Jordan cannot throw a Frisbee.
ironically, I can only throw one left-handed, and I'm a right-handed person, but I cannot throw a Frisbee with my right hand to save me. I can only do it left-handed. Basketball's the
You,
same way.
I was going to say, are there other things like that? So basketball and Frisbee?
Yeah, I don't know what other sports,
I switch hit in baseball or softball. I'll switch kick in kickball. I putt left-handed. I cannot putt right-handed for the life of me. My dad is a lefty though, and I started using his club. I had to go buy
mhm.
myself a lefty club. I can write with both hands though.
Mm.
I'm just a little bit slower writing with my left. And well, right now my left is
I did a
really
lot of
broken.
reading. I did a lot of reading about stuff because both of my children are left-handed, and people like me who do some things right-handed and some things left-handed are considered what they whole-brained. Like, I use my each half equally instead of being having a dominant side.
No, I've taken little quizzes and stuff. It says the same thing. I've got the logical and the creativity.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
It is, it's very interesting. It's especially since me and my husband were both right-handed and we have 2 left-handed children.
I'm just glad that Amber had sex with
Jordan before she saw him throw a Frisbee.
before she saw what that name was because she might have been terrified. There's horseback riding, there's jet skiing. Vic and Christine are playing cornhole, filming themselves, like I said.
Mhm,
Everybody else that has a film crew on them at
mhm.
the resort, but not Vic and Christine. And honestly, the cornhole might not even be from their trip. That could just be them hanging out at a bar sometime after filming.
True. I'm really disappointed with the whole Vic and Christine thing. I don't feel like I'm as connected to that couple as I am the other ones because there's so many things that we're not getting to see it of their interaction with each other. It
It's
just
disappointing because they're my favorite couple from
Mhm.
the pods. And everything we're seeing, they're just getting along so well. Of course, that's not going to make for
Yeah,
drama, but
it's a
if you want
Facebook
to
post.
believe in the show, you have to see it working.
Right. But it's just like, you know what they say about Facebook. Nobody puts their bad stuff on Facebook. Everybody's life looks perfect on Facebook. And that's what we're seeing with them because it's just these selfies.
True. So maybe there is some drama,
I don't know.
or
I
maybe
just like,
that's why they didn't get cast in the first place.
yeah,
I have a theory.
I would like to see them like the other couples.
I would like to see them interacting.
Hmm.
All right, channel surfers, confession. Dee and I just popped away and did legal work for about an hour, and we're back. You might not know it because of the edit. I know that we left off with, we were just getting to the beach with Devonte and Brittany. That was the next section. Let's talk about that. I didn't understand where they were saying if they had boys, they would be in trouble and Brittany would have to walk away and Devonte would have to take care of them. What?
I missed something or they edited something out because it didn't make a lot of sense to me unless it was a reference to something at a different time that we didn't hear.
We went back and rewatched it, so I don't know. Brittany's love language is physical touch.
Mm.
And she lets him know, I want your hands all over me. She says, because if you're not touching me, I feel like you hate me, which
It's a lot.
yeah, my love language is physical touch. It absolutely is not my husband's love language.
Hmm.
I don't feel like he hates me. Like, I understand that's not his love language. I understand that when he is doing acts of service, that's how he's showing his love, even though that's not necessarily my love language. But I understand. I understand that that's
Hmm.
how he shows it. I don't feel like he hates me, though, when he's not doing it. It's the opposite. It's like, I know that
No.
that's not how he shows it. So I understand that he doesn't hate me just because he's not touching me.
Yeah, but Brittany is saying that
I wouldn't touch
she
me either.
feels yeah, she's saying she feels disconnected from him.
This is really early to be feeling a disconnect. But like we said in the
Well
last episode, I don't know how he's doing this.
well, yeah, that's one of the things I was getting ready to say. One, I completely get people who need time to themselves because 'cause I'm one of those
Yeah.
people. I don't wanna talk to
Recharge.
nobody. I don't wanna be touched or anything like that. Um, he also mentioned being creative, so I think maybe it sounded like maybe photography or something. So if he sees things, he wants to take pictures of it. So he's like trying to find time to do those things. But he just lost his grandfather. I mean, that's a huge thing that he's also going through and internalizing, and I'm sure he's trying not to make those emotions carry over into this experience since he tried to stay. So, I think maybe she's being a little hard on him.
And from her perspective, even though I don't share it, I could see that for the other couples, this is all about them. This is the time for them to start off and
Mhm.
get to know each other. And she might feel like she's being robbed of this experience. Not saying that I'm taking that position. I can understand how she feels. I just hope she'd be a little bit empathetic to maybe what
Mhm.
he's going through. But I can see how she would feel hurt.
Yeah, I'm surprised that that wasn't something that was expressed in the pods because usually, I mean, sister wives, for example, we hear Mary talking all the time in her little speed dates. I mean, she's all constantly letting people know what her love language is and things like that.
Well, it
So,
might have been expressed in the pods because they are cutting hours upon hours of footage
mhm,
down into little tiny 10-second clips.
true.
So,
Yeah. But if it's something that's a big deal for her, I would think she would have addressed it with
well, it sounds
all of the
like she
guys that
did
she was
because she
talking
said,
to.
physical touch is my language. It sounds like they've had
Mhm.
that conversation. We just are
Yeah.
first becoming aware of it. Even if he
Oh,
knows, though, presumably she knows how he shows love,
right.
unless he doesn't know and he hasn't discovered that yet.
Yeah. And I mean, he's probably getting a lot of his own alone time when he's waking up early and she's still in bed too.
Some people need it more than others.
Mhm.
And that's fine.
Mhm.
Dee, what are your thoughts on this little boat conversation between
Ashley and Alex. She says he's very confident. I don't know. He's bordering on cocky, but he said something interesting. Like he's nervous because he's not nervous.
I can understand that. They just met each other. I would probably feel that way for all of the couples,
Mhm.
especially if nothing seemingly has gone wrong. You're wondering, when is this facade going away? Clearly, this
Mhm.
is the honeymoon period. Who am I really with?
Right. I mean, he's concerned that he doesn't feel that nervousness, and they were also talking about, like, moving to different places, and he's very confident he can get a job no matter where he goes. He's done it before.
But it sounds like the time period is when her lease is up in June, would be when
Mhm.
that would first be considered, which presumably would be after the show since the show gives them housing,
True. Yeah. I think I heard them saying something about Florida.
but also kind of will go with the flow and figure it out.
Mhm. They definitely wanna be adventurous and move different places.
Here's the thing. What's the relevance about his confidence here? You might be very confident in who you are, but you also just met this person a couple of
Mhm.
weeks ago.
I hate to say this. He's the kind of person that if I talked to them for about an hour, I would have walked away because I'm not interested in someone that's that into themselves.
Like this entire relationship isn't based on
2. It's
you
just
two. Mike and Emma had a nice time in the hot tub. But you could see their chemistry there. So that was good to see.
yeah, I know you had some concerns after yesterday with him and the whole weird stare at her while she was giggling, but they definitely have some chemistry.
And then Chris and Jess have chemistry. They both are on the same page. They don't want to have kids.
Mhm.
And it was his birthday, him and Connor.
Mhm.
Saying the right one. Yes, they both had birthdays in this episode.
I thought that, I think they have a really good connection. The way that they interact with each other is kind of fun to watch.
Oh, and he was like, because you're old. I mean, she's 38, he's 32.
I just think they're cute.
Yeah, I go back and forth.
Some days you like them and some days you don't,
Yeah,
or
these were good moments. Again, redeeming moments.
I know. Well, I don't see, sometimes I feel like you've watched things so far ahead of me,
Well,
and
no,
so,
no.
like,
I
do
mean,
you
I
know
felt this
something
way
bad is
yesterday,
coming?
and this is the only episode we hadn't recap.
Okay.
I thought it was weird. Like, he keeps bringing up working out. Like, dude,
Mhm.
she doesn't want to work out. Why does she have to sit there and watch you swim in the pool? Just let her sleep in and you go work out. You don't need her to be a wart on your ass. You're a big boy. You can go swim by yourself.
Maybe that was something he was looking for.
Maybe, but she keeps saying you didn't find it.
Mm-mm.
Girl, I don't
No,
blame you.
she's got my mentality when it comes to exercise and workout and
I
stuff
would
like that. I
rather
don't.
not.
Mhm.
No,
I
thank you.
should, but I would rather not.
But at what point do you take the man's sneaker and beat him with it? Just kidding. No points.
I'm
No points.
look, I'm like, do you, boo. If he wants to work out every damn day, let him go work out. If as long as he's not saying you need to go with me every single day or
Be
something
your
like that.
personal cheerleader.
Yeah.
She's a doctor. She has other things to do.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the part of the episode where it's like we just got on a UFO and went to another planet. The first planet is Planet Amber and Jordan, where she's shaving his back hair and self-tanning at the same time. And he's like holding his crotch. What was with that?
I don't know, but that's like a whole other level of relationship. They're advanced compared to these other ones.
I was worried that he wasn't wearing pants. I was like, okay, there are pants. Why are you holding your crotch? That's what
Maybe there
happens on
wasn't.
planet. And then we go to planet Bree. What world is she living on?
Fucking it's the flirting with Chris was unbelievable.
She tells him, like, some of this could be innocent, but she's saying she's attracted to him. She's telling him it was between him and Connor.
Mm-hmm.
She's telling him that she told Connor there's stuff to do in Columbus, like the ice plunge. I don't do that. Well, Chris does.
What
Go
the
ahead and
what?
fuck him already.
Mm-hmm. I told you, I think she's seen him, and when she's seen him, she's physically attracted to him more than she is Connor. That's what I think is going on.
Do you also see the change in his energy with her versus Jess? He's smiling a lot more. He's laughing a lot more.
They both
He
were
seems
kind of
more lighthearted around her, which, I mean, Bree's a person that will pull that out of you, and unless you're Connor, and then she's just making you Eeyore.
yeah.
Womp womp.
I thought they both were flirting, but she was extremely flirting. Very flirty.
Now, Connor's just sitting there on the curb drinking.
And watching. He's watching. He's reading that body language, even if he can't hear what they're saying.
That body language says it all. I mean, she's
Mhm.
touching him, big smiles, they're laughing.
Yeah. Well, and Connor, I mean, he says to the cameras that it's bringing out some of his insecurities.
Especially on top of what she's been. Do you really think she said, well, Chris does that to Connor?
If
Or was
she
that a
did, that
joke to flirt with Chris?
I don't know, but if she really said something like that, that's bullshit. That's
Like, are you
bullshit.
just staying with Connor right now so that you get to hang out with Chris?
Interesting.
But didn't she break up with Chris?
No, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think Chris chose Jess over her because they got engaged first. So I think he chose Jess
Trouble in paradise.
already.
If Bree is going to go talk to Chris, Connor might as well go talk to Emma.
Absolutely. Tit for tat.
There was chemistry there.
There was. And I thought it was funny that they're both cluttery people and they're with neat freaks.
They had the same energy, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought his conversation, I thought he was very relaxed sitting there talking to Emma versus, I feel like he's on guard with Bree, even though he says that he can be himself.
Is it just me that's sitting there thinking they made the wrong decision?
I think they made the wrong decision.
I feel like they should be together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Connor says, if Mike's giving you shit, let me know.
Mm-hmm. I got your back, girl.
There's just a friendship. You can tell.
Mm-hmm.
And an ease. And she can't look at him. She keeps like glancing away.
Mm-hmm. Mm. I don't know. Maybe something will come of it. Who knows?
Stop playing with my heart, love is blind. All of a sudden, I'm team Emma and Connor.
I know, me too.
We get to see him in the pods. This is the first time we're seeing them react to each other.
And well, I don't like the way Bree is handling this situation at all.
And I wasn't a big fan of how Mike was acting when she was laughing. You saw with Connor, she's laughing. He's mimicking that. He's smiling too and laughing too.
There's also a conversation going on. We didn't see a conversation with her, and
Well, you can laugh for no reason. Sometimes it's
look,
infectious.
I am the first person to say if we're in uncomfortable situations, don't sit next to me because I'm gonna be laughing.
She has been vaccinated against laughing.
Mhm. No.
She's like, "It's infectious, so I'm not catching that shit."
I
Neither
was
is Mike.
I was at a funeral and my aunt turned around and told me that me and my cousin needed to be separated, so, yeah.
What were you doing with your cousin at a funeral?
We were just sitting there talking and catching up because we hadn't seen each other in several years, but I think I get
Were you
apparently they
laughing?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. We were just talking, but I guess we were talking too loud. And nothing had started yet. But it's a funeral home, so I guess you're not supposed to be talking.
Yeah, if you're the dead person.
I don't think grandma would have mind. She'd have been like, "Oh, there's my girls. They haven't seen each other for a while. Listen to them catching up."
My grandma's funeral, North Carolina, it started snowing. Not very common. And I was sitting there, like, they just kept going on. And she always said, she's like, "When I die, just throw me in a pine box in the ditch." So I kept
It
thinking, we're hungry, we're cold. If she was here, she'd be like, "Get the hell out of here, go eat."
My husband's funeral, when we had it, it was a few months after he had passed away, and it was in Ohio. And we got ready to go to the cemetery because we were doing graveside service,
Mhm.
and it started snowing. And everybody that showed up said the only place it was snowing was on that hill. I know. I was like, he was there with us the whole time because
Saying,
he
"Get the
just,
hell out of here and go get some barbecue.
yeah, hurry it up.
Go get a beer." They play Never Have I Ever. I would have thought the threesome would have been Alex. I did not guess Chris.
Chris, I know. I was thinking the same thing. I could see Alex totally doing that and into it.
These women are all about Chris.
Oh,
Think
yeah,
about it.
they were talking about how cute he was and stuff when he was at the top of the slides.
Dang, Elijah would look like it. The next question is who had sex on the balcony, which if you're there and you aren't Devonte and Brittany, then raise your hand or put your finger down. And then Devonte hadn't had a hickey. Brittany offers him one and he's like, "No, I don't want a hickey." And she felt rejected from that, which is understandable. But also, he's not a teenage boy.
I was gonna say, he's not a kid. I mean, I can understand him not wanting a hickey at this stage in his life and walking around with a hickey. But she gets up and walks away. Her feelings are hurt.
But she's taken that as rejection. She's still feeling like he's just blowing her off.
Yeah.
I don't know that we're seeing that in the edit. He's not
Well,
all over her, but
well, she explains a little more because apparently she has gone to him and said, if you need to have sex, we'll do that. And he still has not had sex with her. So I think these little things are just piling on top of the fact that she has offered to have sex, even though she had the celibacy season.
he's not taking her up on it.
Right.
So is it because he's mad that she didn't offer it up at first? Like he knew that. They talked about celibacy in the pods. It's not like he expected the sex. What he didn't expect was grandpa dying and be hit
Mhm.
with all of these emotions, which he probably didn't even know what to really expect going into this.
You know what? Maybe he's just not that into her. I mean, I'm really not seeing the connection between them that I am in the other couples.
I mean, I saw it. I saw it at first. Maybe she just needs a lot more validation than he gets. I mean, is she the kind of person that needs text messages every couple of hours? Or is she the
Good
kind of
morning,
person?
beautiful every morning.
Yeah. Or like me, it's like, "Oh, cool. It's been a week. I've been doing my own thing. How are you?" Like, is it more about him or more about her?
I just think he's in his head right now and his feelings. I think there's a lot going on and he's definitely grieving. And that fucks with everything. I mean,
It
I
does.
remember when I was grieving, I did not have the emotional energy for anything else other than just keeping that under control.
I agree. And a little bit about her feeling insecure,
Hmm.
which you don't know him that well. So it's easy to second guess.
Right. It's just whatever's going on in his head and her need for affection and attention.
Being
It's not,
communicated
mm-mm.
effectively. I agree. Brittany is overanalyzing this, it seems. She is talking to Jess like maybe it could be that he couldn't stop himself if we got started. And Devontae's in the pool. He's just like, no, like, I just don't want to talk. And there's nothing
Mhm.
wrong. She just thinks something's wrong because I'm not as talkative. He's just chill. He doesn't.
He's just laid back. I don't think he's ever gonna give her what she wants because he's just too chill.
Alex is sitting right there. Devontae is
Listening.
telling this to Alex.
Mhm.
Alex gets up and
Takes
walks over, at least from the edit, to Brittany,
goes
and
straight to her.
straight to her. And he confides in her
Mhm.
that Ashley isn't his typical type. And then he describes his typical type, which is her,
Which is Brittany.
Brittany.
Mhm.
And then Brittany shares that, well, Devontae is not my physical type. He asked, what is your physical type? And she said, tall and athletic, which describes him. But it wasn't like him. It felt like he was saying it so she knew.
Mhm.
She kind of redirected the conversation to, I guess this is where the true test is love blind. This is why we're here.
Mhm. Right.
I think she was flattered, but she also says, I'm worried. I'm worried for Ashley. I was worried for Ashley.
Yeah, and Ashley seems to be, like, oblivious to
Well, look at how he's talking to her.
well, yeah,
He
he's a
hasn't brought that up to
charmer.
her.
He's a charmer. He's a player. I bet he's used to having multiple women that he talks to at a time.
Do you think that he is attracted to her? One of the reasons is that she's celibate and it's a challenge.
No, I think she physically meets the criteria that he usually looks for in a
Well,
woman.
he so much as said that, but he was a lot more flirty with Ashley and then they had sex. And
Mhm.
look, her guy isn't giving that to her. She's saying she needs it, or she's not saying she needs it, but her guy isn't giving her what she needs. But I bet I could. I just
I bet
wonder if there's some sort of he wants to win.
yeah, that's a
Alex
good
wants to choke.
possibility, and, the thing is he's getting all this inside information with these conversations with Devonte, and then he's using it to his advantage. I'm wondering how much further he's willing to go. Like, is he willing to say, "Look, I wanna be with you"?
Now, also, moments like this, I have to wonder, are we seeing this all in order? Did he literally get up from that conversation and go to Ashley? Was that conversation had later? Was the conversation between Alex and Ashley part of a bigger conversation? I started thinking about what the editors could be doing to us. It's a great story.
Mhm.
When they get back to the hotel, Alex and Ashley are standing in the bathroom and she asked him if he was flirting. I wonder where that question came from. Do you
Maybe she
think
did see
Brittany,
something.
or do you think Brittany told her what happened?
Possibility, but I would think just for the drama, we would have seen that. That the cameras would have caught Brittany telling Ashley.
They might not show it in order. We might find out later
Mhm.
that
True.
she knew. And because Alex is like, no, I'm just very friendly. Maybe that can be taken as flirty. And then he goes over all of these conversations he has. And the very last one is Brittany. And he says, he admits he was worried about her relationship. He says, but we're all kind of worried about relationships. He
Mhm.
excuses everything away. And he's
Mhm.
not showing any sign that he's not interested in Ashley. He's like, it's all going to be fine. And, then start talking about moving. I don't want to be in Columbus or Cleveland, and short term we'll be there. And then obviously we'll move. And she expresses, I've never lived this lifestyle, but he's basically telling us now he's a vagabond. He frequently moves around.
Well, that's a red flag in itself. But first of all, this isn't his first rodeo, just with the way he was answering her questions. The second thing is if he
What do
likes
you
to move
mean?
well, he's used to deflecting or having conversations like this. He's so smooth at it. Like, there was no hesitancy or anything in his behavior to
Right.
that would let her know it was more
That's a
than what
red
he
flag
was
for
saying.
us as viewers, but she isn't necessarily
Probably not
seeing
to
it that
her.
way.
The vagabond thing, that's the thing he doesn't stay in one place very long. That kind of maybe makes me think commitment issues. So would that
Oh,
translate over into relationships? I don't think he'll marry her.
he always needs something different. That's
Mhm.
interesting. I see it. Tanner and Bree are having another conversation. They're not clearly drunk this time. They look sober. And she's saying that it was, I guess, therapeutic that she did talk to Chris. But she said she could have a third conversation.
She wants a part 3. She
She
keeps
said she
calling
would
them
take
parts.
a part 3. And Connor's like, well, dude, once I left, my feelings were gone. And she's like, no, not romantic feelings. There's just things we need to process. But then, here's the hint. Here is the dead ringer. She says, I see he's happy. So that part makes it not as important. So, you only need to talk to him if he's not happy, which means what? Means that there's an opening for you to be his happiness? She gave
I'm
herself
tell
away.
I think this girl is crushing on Chris. Connor is not in her thoughts from the moment she has seen Chris.
And Connor's he gets it. I think Connor is 100% understanding what's happening here. I don't think he
Mhm.
causes drama. He's just sitting back, figuring out the plan,
He's
what he's going to do about
observing.
this problem.
He is observing right now. He's in a state of observation to see what he's gonna do. It ain't looking good.
And we end with Devonte and Brittany. Devonte tells her part of what's going on is what we've said. There's
Mm,
a loss in my family. And she starts to walk it back. At first, she's like, you don't touch me. You're not making me feel loved.
mhm.
And once he says that, it's like, girl, can you be empathetic? She's like, okay, well, I'm gonna walk this back a little bit. It was funny though. She's explaining this should be the honeymoon phase. And what she means by it is we should be really excited to see each other. We can't keep our hands off
Mhm.
of each other. He does not get that though. He goes, we're not on our honeymoon. Oh, Devontae, so sweet. So innocent.
Poor guy. I he she's just way too much maintenance for him. He does not he's gonna need a low maintenance girl, and she is way too much.
All right. So last night my kid woke me up at 3, kicking me.
Mhm.
And I watched episode 7 and listened to the next 2. This was wild, but if you think this is wild, buckle up. We're in for it.
Yeehaw.
We're going to go ahead and try to recap the next one. So it should drop right
Mm.
after this. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Let's ride.